video. So this is new, and I was thinking this morning about this email and what I was going to write, and I thought I had a crazy wild idea that I'd just sit down and talk to you instead, because if you read my email last week, you will know I had a lot of shit going down at the moment, so it's quite difficult for me to think about writing a perfect inspirational letter to you, when really I just got so many thoughts and so many things happening in my brain that I thought it would be easy to just sit and talk to you. And I don't know if this is going to become a thing. I'm just trying this out, so let's see what happens. And I put some makeup on. I haven't done my hair, kind of threw it up because I just want to be real with you. This is not going to be perfectly polished because I'm not a YouTuber, but I'm just going to sit and have a chat with you, and I hope you enjoy it, and if you do, let me know, and let's see where we go. So I just want to talk to you really this week about, obviously, if you know, about a month ago we found out my dad has cancer, and it's been fucking shit, and I've been going through all the emotions and all the trauma and kind of even a feeling of grief, which is a really odd thing to feel because he's not dead and he's not going to die, but I just feel like it's a feeling of grief and sadness, and I think if you're also in a similar boat, or you're feeling particularly depressed at the moment, or you've got some shit going down as well, that maybe some of the things I've been doing in the last month may help you as well. So I'm just gonna sit and talk about them with you, and let's see how it goes, shall we? Yes, okay. The first thing that has really helped me a lot is having a project. Now, I am a project person. I like to be busy. I like to feel like I'm achieving things, and when I do something and tick it off my list, I feel good about myself, and when I'm just kind of lounging around, I feel crap about myself. But one of the things I've really struggled with during this time is being my most normal productive self, because I haven't been able to mentally focus on stuff, and I haven't been able to really get my work done in the way I really want to do it. The stuff that really requires me to use my brain and think about things. So I decided to paint this room, and it's now pink, and it makes me very, very happy. But just having a project that didn't take any brain power, and I really quite like painting rooms. I find it fun and cathartic and all that stuff. So it was good to have a project that didn't take any brain power, but also made me feel like I was achieving something. So maybe that is something that would help you as well. And the other thing that has really, really helped astronomically is talking a lot to Gareth, particularly my husband, and my best friend Soph, and just talking their ear off about how I'm really feeling, and not worrying about coming across as stupid. Gareth in particular is so fucking great, and he will listen, and he doesn't judge me. He doesn't think whatever I'm saying is weird, or it's really good to talk about how you're feeling. And it's a fucking cliche because it's true. When you talk about things, you process them in a different way, because you have to form them into sentences. So you start it helps you to process things yourself as well, rather than just thinking of abstract concepts. Something that I have been doing a lot is thinking of every single possible outcome of what might happen, and trying to process that in my head, and that's a lot. And when you actually say things and you have to make a sentence out of it, it just helps you process them. And then obviously if you're talking to someone that's great with the old advice and the listening and stuff, that's really good too. But talking a lot about everything, about how I'm feeling, without worrying that what I say might upset someone else. Obviously I'm not talking about this stuff with my mum or one of my sisters, because I don't want to upset them any further. But Gareth is obviously, and my Sophie is obviously slightly removed from the situation, so it's not the same. But there are also helplines and stuff that people have recommended me that I haven't tried, but apparently they're great. So like Macmillan is one people have talked about a lot. Samaritans, you know, there are people that will listen if you need to talk about some shit. So I can highly recommend that. Yes. Another thing that has really helped me is to allow myself to be sad and to feel those feelings. I also have a tendency of wanting to rush through shitty times, and I'm bored of being sad now, kind of, and then I feel guilty for wanting to rush through the feelings. But you know, giving myself the time to feel sad and sometimes be in bed crying all day and not really do anything is fine, and it's part of the process of, you know, trauma or grief, and it has to be done, I suppose. And it's a weird thing to think about, but you do have to go through that process to come out the other side. Otherwise you'll just be bottling up those feelings and they might come out in a different way. But allowing yourself to be sad for a period and not feeling guilty about that has been important for me, particularly because, as I said, I like to do stuff and I like to be busy and I like to feel like I'm being productive, and not being able to, like physically not feeling like I'm able to, is quite hard. But once, you know, people started saying to me, it's okay to be sad, like you're allowed to feel these things, I was like, oh yeah, I guess I am. This is like a big thing that's happened. And we can't control how we feel sometimes, so stop feeling fucking guilty about it, because it's human nature. And if I wasn't feeling sad, I'd probably be a fucking psychopath, so it's okay. And related to that as well, is, what was I going to say? Forgiving yourself for not being completely, you know, 100%, and realising that that's okay as well is a thing. And like, you know, being kind to myself and realising that, you know, even if all I did one day is I got up and I had a shower and I went to the supermarket, like that's fine and that's an achievement. And I have a tendency as well to not focus on my achievements. Like my friend Sophie tells me off for this all the time. She'll be like, that was amazing, like well done, that project you got out or whatever is really great. And I'm like, yeah, what's next? Like, it's just how I am. Like, I don't like sit and appreciate what I've done and think like, wow, that was really great. I'm just like, yeah, I need to do another project now to get that same like feeling of achievement. It's exhausting, honestly, but it's just how I am. So, you know, realising that some days all you're going to do is get dressed and go to the supermarket, and that is a great achievement. So yeah, and you know, today, look, I got up, I was a little bit hungover today, I'm not going to lie. Me and Gareth may have drunk quite a lot of wine last night, but I was a bit hungover, but I had this idea to do this video, and I put some makeup on and I put the camera on and I'm talking to it, and that is a fucking achievement, Kat. So well done you. So you should do the same too if this is something that resonates with you. Yeah. And finally, the thing that I have really realised during this period of shite, as it will forever be known, is to stop comparing myself with other people and stop comparing my current experience with other people. And when I put on Instagram what was going on, I got fucking hundreds of messages. And what I've realised is that people like to share their own experience. So when I said, oh, I found out my dad has cancer, I got hundreds of messages, well-meaning messages, people being like, no one was horrible, really nice messages, but people sharing their own experience of cancer, positive and negative. And at times that wasn't very helpful for me to read, especially when someone's like, I know how you feel, my dad fucking died of cancer, and I'm like, great, thanks. Thanks for letting me know. But yeah, what I've realised is that people like to connect and share their story, and that's just what we're like as humans. And I've completely lost my train of thought and forgot where I'm going with this. Stop comparing yourself to others. Yes, oh yeah, so stopping what I've realised is I need to not compare my experience of this with somebody else's. And it's great people giving advice or sharing things that have worked for them or whatever. But just because it works for them doesn't mean it's going to work for me or you. And that's okay. But also not comparing myself to other people that are like not in this situation. So again, I have a tendency to want to be like the best and to want to be super productive. And there's a few people I follow online and a few people that I'm friends with who I feel just have their shit together so much. Like their businesses are amazing, they're making all this money, they seem to have their shit completely together. And it's really difficult to not look at those people and think, oh my God, I'm never going to be as good as they are. And it's even harder when you're in a situation like this where you're like dealing with an emotional trauma, because there's no way I can be at that stage. But the thing with comparing yourself to other people is that just because one person has got their shit together in a certain area doesn't mean that their life is completely perfect. And I think as humans we tend to, you know, that person has the most amazing house, they must also have great sex and be rich and, you know, not have any problems. When of course that's not, that's not the truth. That person that has the most beautiful Instagrammable house might be falling apart inside. That person that's making $1 million a year might have never had a happy relationship. That person that is amazing at public speaking might actually be the shyest person ever and goes to bed every day crying. Like, you never know what people are really going through. So stopping comparing your experiences to other people, I think, is important generally, but also when you're going through a time of intense trauma or sadness or anxiety or whatever it is. So that's basically what I wanted to say today, and I feel like if I tried to put that in a written email it would have been like very, very long, and just sitting down and having a chat with you was a bit easier, I suppose. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Do let me know. I may do it again. This may be a one-time thing. But yeah, it's been nice actually. As I said, talking helps you process things, and this has actually, you know, also helped me lay out how things have been feeling for me in a more logical way. So it's helped me as much as I hope it helps you. And yeah, so I don't know what to do now because I'm not a YouTuber. Like and subscribe. No, don't do that. Just let me know if you enjoyed this. I would love to hear from you. And I guess I'll see you elsewhere on the internet at some point in the future. Okay, see you later. Have a lovely Sunday evening and rest of your week next week. I love you very much. Okay, bye.